We are right now, we are between samsara and liberation, right? We either go upward or downward path. As I said, the upward path represents wisdom and bodhicitta, but it requires effort because it goes against habit and self-centered selfishness. So we need to it requires more effort, diligent.
We can't hear you, Khenpo.
Khenpo, you've been muted here.
Oh, Khenpo, you're muted.
Oh boy. How about now?
Still muted.
Oh.
Unmute.
How about now?
Still muted. We're working on it.
I think it's not my. Is there something there?
So it's in Zoom.
Oh, in Zoom. Oh, unmuted. Thank you. Can you hear me now? Well, that's good. If you didn't hear what I said, we are in between samsara and liberation. So samsara, liberation. So liberation is wisdom and bodhicitta, right? Reach liberation, freedom. Give us freedom, stable well-being. If we take upward path, as I said, those maybe didn't hear me, represent wisdom and bodhicitta. It requires a lot of effort because it goes against our bad habit, strong habits, the selfishness, basically. The downward path represents grasping, the confusion, distraction, ego. It feels easy and immediately you feel like pleasant, but it cannot give genuine, lasting happiness and eventually leads to dissatisfaction. So, as I said, we are in between, upwards and downward, like intersection. That is right now, like the present moment right now. So your choice of thoughts and actions determine whether you move toward freedom or deeper samsara. Samsara and liberation basically mean short-term comfort versus long-term freedom. So this teaching means that happiness and suffering are not determined by circumstances alone, but by direction and your own choice. That's what this teaching in Khenpo Gangshar is saying, you know. So in each moment, we stand at an intersection. One direction follows habit and immediately feels like comfort. The other follows compassion and wisdom. So the first feels easy but very unstable, basically. The second requires effort but leads to real freedom. Okay? That's what we talked about. Now the next teaching, it says, Now, let's see how capable you are. He's, talking to his student, Achang. A good child frees themselves from distractions and illusions, making full use of every moment and opportunity. To do this, you must reflect on impermanence. Child of a good father, pay attention to this and that, listen carefully to what's spoken here and there, and observe the cycle of birth, illness, aging, and death. People pursue different paths in life. Some seek wealth, others build homes, some dedicated themselves to study and contemplation, while others engage in secret mantra practice in retreat. Of all these paths, only a few succeed in achieving the ultimate goals. So, again, here, child does not literally mean a young person, in spiritual teachings, it often means someone who sincerely follows guidance, like a child who trusts and learns from a caring great parent or a teacher. So a good child here, it means a sincere practitioner, someone who truly wishes to grow their qualities. So it says a good child frees themselves from distractions, illusions, making full use of every moment and opportunity. This line offers encouragement and gentle challenge to Khenpo Gangshar, his student. Distractions here means distractions are anything that pulls the mind away from what is meaningful or beneficial. So if you are a sincere, or if you are a serious student, Khenpo Gangshar is saying, you should learn to minimize distractions, think clearly, and use your time and opportunities meaningfully. But if you are a not serious student, practitioner, then it will be difficult to let go of distractions. So if you truly want to grow, he's saying, you must stop or waste your time. You must stop being confused by meaningless things. And you must use your life wisely. In the Tibetan context, distractions here refers to meaningless daily activities like thoughts, worries, and like social media and so on and so forth. So slowly, gradually reduce unnecessary, endless business. Distractions here. And then he said illusions. Illusions here refers to mistaken views about our lives, your life. For example, truly believing happiness comes only from external things. Or, if you have billions of money, you think, I'm truly happy. That's genuine happiness. Um, Mistaken. Illusions also like mistaken temporary pleasures for ultimate satisfaction. So thoughts, feelings are constantly changing, right? And holding onto a rigid sense of self creates frustration and worries. And clinging to illusions keep us in samsara. By freeing us from illusions, we learn to enjoy life without clinging, seeing things as they truly are. So when we see through illusions, we stop chasing things that cannot satisfy us, and we can focus on what brings true happiness and peace. So in Dharma language, this is moving from ignorance toward wisdom. Once distraction and illusion reduce, life is no longer wasted in confusion. Every situation becomes usable for growth. That's why it says making full use of every moment and opportunity. So here he is reminding us that if you are a good student, you should use your precious human life wisely, recognizing that life is precious and also time is limited. So direct your attention and your energy toward meaningful activities as much as you can for every moment, every in daily life. So use your time to study, practice, or whatever, rather than wasting time and just thinking, right? He's saying, do not let yourself be overwhelmed by negative thoughts, negative emotions, this strong habit. So focus your mind on what truly matters and this short period of time that we have. Whatever your meaningful work is, just don't waste, don't slow down your important practice, or don't waste the opportunity you have now, because time is limited. So full use here means turn all your experiences and every situation, whether good or bad, for inner, try to, inner self, inner development. Then it says, to do this, you must reflect on impermanence. This is very important. Reflect on impermanence helps what? Reduce attachment, motivates you to use your time wisely. When you deeply understand that everything is impermanent, you naturally let go of clinging. contemplate how life or relationships, thoughts, and feelings are always changing, and will not last forever. When you see this clearly and deeply, not just understand and intellectual, but deeply experience, you stop 100%. You stop chasing temporary pleasures and you can focus on meaningful actions, because we deeply recognize the time is limited. So you stop trying to hold on to things cannot last, which reduce fear and worries and anxiety. So understanding impermanence reminds us that time is limited. This motivates us to focus on meaningful actions, such as meditation, helping others, or personal growth, etc. So when you reflect on impermanence, you accept change as natural, which really calms your mind. For example, knowing life is short encourages you to spend your time more meaningfully. You can also enjoy life fully without being controlled by illusions. So this practice helps you let go of attachment, anger, permanent, right? This mistaken illusion. And then you act wisely and develop sort of deeper understanding what this life is. So it's a foundation for both mental peace and, of course, spiritual liberation. So this meditation helps you live consciously and focus on what truly matters. So it's so important to, please take a few minutes each day to notice the change like focus on the changes like in your surroundings, everything. And focus on your change, like, your loved ones, remembering that everyone, grow old. And of course, many of them have already passed away. Everything you are attached to will change. So live meaningfully, knowing that nothing lasts forever. Observe how this reflection reduces your attachment and confusion and fear. So the purpose of this practice is not scare yourself, but to help you really value each moment, focus on what truly matters, and also practice letting go. So it's really positive. People think when you talk about impermanence, makes you uncomfortable, but that's totally misunderstood. That means you have only intellectual understanding about impermanence, then it makes you uncomfortable. But if you deeply understand impermanence, it's amazing. It change your life. Then the next teaching says, child of a good father, pay attention to this and that. Listen carefully to what is spoken here and there, and observe the cycle of birth, illness, aging, and death. Child of a good father is, as I said, respectful way of address. It's similar to calling someone a noble student or great student, right? So it refers to someone capable of understanding the Dharma, someone with a solid foundation and good potential. Child of good father acknowledges the student's capacity and encourages them to listen with sincerity. Then it says, pay attention to this and that. This means do not live your life distracted. Be mindful of everything around you, because the world is always teaching you something if you pay attention. When you observe carefully, every situation becomes a teacher, guiding you toward wisdom and compassion. Everything you experience in daily life, whether good or bad, contains a lesson about your life. We usually we're not mindful all of these things. If you speak kindly, people respond kindly. If you act with anger, conflict increase, right? These are like logical. So by pay attention to the world, you see everything is changing from moment to moment. Nothing lasts forever. You cannot control everything. So learn acceptance. If you pay attention to the world, you see everyone suffers. This awareness cultivates compassion, bodhicitta, and helps you understand human nature. If you pay attention to the world, you also see compassion exists everywhere. And you can learn something from it. There are lots of compassionate people. Offering kindness helps change the world. So we're so distracted every single day, not pay attention to around yourself, the world, so we don't see. Then it says, listen carefully to what is spoken here and there. This means to pay attention to the advice you received in different situations. Pay attention and keep your ears open to wisdom, wherever it comes from. Not only from teachers, but also from, like casual conversations. You can learn from anything and anywhere, like in everyday conversations, or a friend sharing personal challenges or their life, you can learn something from. Like someone making a wrong choice, you can learn from something. Everything that happens can help actually us to grow if you pay attention. And if we pay attention and be mindful, everything becomes teacher. Nothing exists alone. Everything depends on everything else, right? So this line teaches us not to dismiss any experience in daily life. Listen with care, reflect deeply, and apply the key point that you learn from to yourself, your life. That's important. Then it says, observe the cycles of birth, illness, aging, and death. This means to look directly at how life actually appears. Notice that every being is born, gets sick, grows old, and dies. So in Buddhism, seeing these four aspects of life clearly is what turns the mind towards Dharma. This observation helps you understand impermanence and motivates genuine spiritual practice. So in Buddhism, observing them leads to insight. Birth, for example, life begins, independence and limitations. Illness, the body it shows very fragile and unreliable. Then get older, aging, everything changes and decline, getting worse. And then death, all conditions, things end. So they are experiential characteristics of samsaric life, or you can say unavoidable conditions of life. Then it says, the teaching, people pursue different paths in life. Some seek wealth, others build homes, some dedicate themselves to study and contemplation, while others engage in secret mantra practice and retreat of all this path. Only a few succeed in achieving ultimate goal. This is very true. So everyone has a different way of living, right? Influenced by circumstances and their choice. Life offers many options, but not all of them lead to lasting fulfillment. Many people spend their lives pursuing comfort, seeking wealth, or building a home. These are common worldly goals. Some people focus on learn and intellectual or spiritual reflection. Some people dedicate themselves to advanced sort of spiritual practice that requires focus on meditation, retreat training, mantra recitation, visualization. But Khenpo consciousness, all of these paths, only few succeed in achieving the ultimate goal. So again, everyone follows different paths, but only those who are committed to deep spiritual practice and genuine understanding reach the ultimate goal of freedom from suffering. Freedom from suffering, this goal requires more than worldly success or intellectual knowledge. It requires deep meditation and realization. So, again, people follow many different pursuits in life, but not all efforts lead to the deepest purpose of life. Only those who follow the path with genuine practice reach that ultimate goal. Only sincere inner transformation leads beyond suffering. So don't worry about that. Just make that goal, this freedom from suffering, and then take step by step this path. And then eventually succeed. But people have different beliefs, different ideas, therefore follow different directions. That's okay. But ultimately, the goal is freedom from suffering. Then the next stage says, see how death and sickness can arise unexpectedly. Even when you are not thinking about them, do you include yourself in this reality? Are you truly confident in your realization of impermanence, knowing that sickness and death can arrive at any moment? Constantly remind yourself in every moment to observe, examine your mind. Do not let yourself distracted or confused. Practice diligently and with wholehearted effort, with enlightened beings and their lineage as your witness. The first line here is reminding us death, illness, and also sudden change do not wait for our permission. So they don't arrive when we are ready, right? Unexpectedly. So they happen. They happen, we don't know, unexpectedly. While we are busy with ordinary things, planning our future or distracted by daily concerns and worries. So it is a wake-up call. Anything can happen at any time. So don't take your life for granted. Value your life. Make the most of it. Why this matters? If you recognize how unpredictable life is, you begin to value different things. Your attention naturally turns toward deeper concerns because you begin to stop wasting time on these meaningless distractions. So you become sincere in your practice and you appreciate the value of every moment. So I think that's really important. Then it says, do you include yourself in this reality? Usually people look at sickness and death happening around them, but that happens to others, not to me, not yet. So we see others become sick, old, right? Getting old or pass away, but we almost never reflect that same will happen to us. We say somebody died, my friend died, and then we were sad, but we're not thinking about ourselves. Oh, I'm going that way. And don't know. We almost never, I think, reflect that the same will happen to us. Do you? So if we genuinely accept this situation, our practice becomes authentic and sort of urgent. Not out of fear, but out of understanding, like clarity and purpose. So in short, the two lines here together mean life is unpredictable, fragile, and constantly changing. So if you clearly see this and apply it to yourself, not just to others, then your Dharma practice naturally develops, because you understand that you cannot waste the precious human life. Then it says, are you truly confident in your realization of impermanence, knowing that sickness and death can arrive at any moment? Again, this is not meant to create fear, but clarity. In Buddhism, confidence means you don't just think about impermanence, but you live with that understanding in daily life. That's what it means, like understand impermanence. The uncertainty of the moment of sickness and death, or the changing nature of the body. The instability of life. This contemplation is meant to wake us up from laziness and distractions. It is the foundation for renunciation and genuine practice. As you know, in Western culture, death, sickness are often avoided in conversation and daily life, right? If, for example, if someone says, seriously, if I am still alive, I will see you tomorrow. Many people might react with concern. Are you okay, right? Why would you say that? Because death associated with crisis, not reality. It scares you, so you avoid usually this kind of conversations. But Buddhism, someone says, if I alive until tomorrow, I will see you then. It simply express impermanence and teach sort of awareness of death gives life meaning, knowing life is precious but very unstable. So it motivates practice. So as I said, impermanence makes every moment becomes valuable when you know how to live with it. It could be lost. So here, Gangshar asks his student, have you realized the truth of impermanence deeply enough to know, not just intellectually, but in your heart, that life could end at any moment? He said, always remind yourself to observe and examine your mind. Do not let yourself be distracted or confused. Then it says, practice diligently with wholehearted effort, with the enlightened beings and their lineage as your witness. This emphasis that real transformation in the mind does not depend by casual practice. Engage in your practice seriously, constantly, and with full commitment. It's really difficult to do this because all these distractions. In Buddhism, diligence is one of the key factors for success in meditation and study. So therefore here it says wholehearted effort means you are not distracted by other concerns, doubts or laziness. You bring your full attention and your energy to the practice. But, this is very difficult without deep realization of impermanence. That's why practice the 4 thoughts that change your mind is necessary if you want to practice diligently and with wholehearted effort. We don't have the genuine experience of impermanence. We understand the meaning. That's not enough. Believe me, if you have a realization, the genuine experience of impermanence, you have less distractions and you value more your life. Then it said, with the enlightened beings and their lineage as your witness. It means live and act as if the enlightened beings and the lineage are present and aware of your conduct. That helps your activity, your actions pure. Keep the enlightened beings as witness. It means remember in their presence, honor in their guidance, and feeling accountable to their example and not acting against the Dharma they taught. it encourages mindfulness and sincerity. It also connects you to the spiritual lineage, reminding you that your practice is part of a larger continuum of wisdom and awaken passed down through generations, the lineage. Imagine the Buddha and the lineage of masters, bodhisattvas, observing your practice. So when meditate, you can visualize the lineage of teachers or the Buddha observing your practice, because this inspires you to be sincere and diligent. So in short, you should engage in your practice with full energy and focus, knowing that your effort is meaningful, supported by the awareness of the enlightened beings. It emphasizes personal responsibility and connection to a living spiritual tradition.